Well, the Bengals are 0-3. I'm Evan. This is Zach, and welcome to Around the Jungle. Yeah, the Bengals are now 0-3 after losing on Monday night to the Commanders, 38-33. Um, Jaden Daniels only had two incompletions the entire game. He had like a 90 something percent completion percentage. So, um,
We
pretty
weren't
good showing
expecting.
from him.
We were not expecting to hop on here and say this.
No, not at all. We were expecting a win, but yeah, what were your quick thoughts from the game?
Um, we suck. My main observation from this game was just how much of a travesty to the game our defense is. They scored every time they had the ball with a rookie quarterback. Every time they had the ball, they scored points. Our defense is an embarrassment to the sport of football. It is so terrible. um, Offensively, I was pretty happy. I thought our offense played well. Jamar Chase got unlocked finally. I thought our offense looked a lot better. I think that it could still be a little bit more. I think that it could be a little bit better still. I think there's improvements to be made on the offensive side, but I think the offense was pretty solid. You can win football games with that offense. We put like 34 points up. Defense, whoa, defense was really bad. That was those were honestly those are my observations. That's all I got for you. Defense
Yeah,
was awful.
yeah. I mean, it's
It
really.
was humorous. I'm laughing at how bad this defense was.
I feel like it's been a trend. We've just been laughing at how bad the Bengals have been this
Yeah, like
year.
it's like we are so bad that it's not even like, what are we doing? Are you kidding me? It's like laughable how terrible we are right now so far this year.
Yeah,
Like, oh, it's horrible.
yeah. I
And I
mean,
think
for
that this is, being a lifelong Bengals fan, I think that, laughing at how terrible we are and just laughing at our pain is the only way that we can cope with it. At
yeah,
this point,
yeah, pretty much.
it's bad. Like, it's really bad.
Yeah,
This is probably the worst that I think I've seen since we've got Joe Burrow. I mean, this is the first time the Bengals have been 0-3 since 2019. That was the year we went on to only win 2 games, and that was the year before we got Joe Burrow.
yeah,
So this is the worst that we've ever been with Joe Burrow.
yeah.
The last time we started this way, we won 2 games.
Hopefully that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, when you make rookie Jaden Daniels look like MVP level Jamar or Lamar Jackson, like
Yeah.
21 for 23, I don't care what quarterback it is, you can't like allow that.
No, that's absurd. If
Like,
you throw freaking 2 incompletions the whole game, that's
yeah.
ridiculous.
I mean, shout out to Jaden Daniels. He played phenomenal, but
Yeah.
our defense is just three. We allowed 3 rushing touchdowns, 2 through the air. Like
Yeah.
they were
Yeah.
still missing tackles. I think they had like double-digit missed tackles, which is
Oh, the tackling is just
for
terrible.
week 3 is inexcusable.
Oh, it's awful.
And then I mean they had 248 yards through the air. Terry McLaurin was just dicing our defense
I benched
into
him this
shreds.
week.
They were just dicing him into shreds. And then, obviously, the run defense has been a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were a little bit better. They let up 100 yards, which is, for their standards, is pretty good.
Well, I mean, 100 yards really isn't that terrible, anyways, to be
No,
honest with you.
but
But
I
I
mean,
mean,
that is with a banged up defensive line room. Like, we don't really have
yeah,
anybody in our defensive line right now.
yeah. I mean, I thought the run defense wasn't quite as bad.
It was
I
better.
mean, it wasn't great. I think the worst run defense that we saw was week 1. I mean, the Patriots just completely controlled the offense. Like the Patriots controlled the line of scrimmage.
Yeah,
They ran the ball at will. We couldn't stop it. That was
yeah,
really bad. And then, I think it's been like steady improvements in the run game defense since then. It still was not good, but I mean, like you said, 100 yards for a game isn't terrible because you got three guys. I mean, that's 100 yards divided by what, three or four rushers, counting Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not terrible, but
No, pretty
dude,
good.
I mean, the pass defense was awful. I mean,
Yeah.
this rookie quarterback, shout out to Jaden Daniels, he's a good player, but I mean, this guy diced us up. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, he was out here looking like Josh Allen. He played better than Patrick Mahomes did against us.
Yeah.
Like, it was
in the NFL, you cannot allow a team to get 38 points. Like
that's absurd.
a game where you put up 33, like you should walk out of that game winning. But,
Oh, by far, yeah. That was like a classic Big 12 or Pac-12 performance.
well, I mean, the Bengals offensively, they scored on every possession as well.
Well, the difference being there
had
was
kicked field
one or
goals.
two possessions when we walked away with field goals. I'm pretty sure the Commanders literally scored a touchdown every time they had the ball.
Probably, yeah.
Was it? There may have been one time they kicked a field goal, but I am pretty dang sure, if I remember correctly, they scored a touchdown on every single possession except for maybe one.
So they had touchdown, field goal, touchdown, one field goal.
Yeah, so it was every possession except one. They scored a touchdown. That is abysmal.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't even allow the Chiefs to do that. Like, you think the most explosive, like high octane offenses in the NFL? You got the Chiefs, you got the Bills, probably the Ravens. I don't know who else is in that. You get my point. Those three teams right there, they score 20, 25 points on us, maybe.
Yeah.
A Commanders offense led by a rookie quarterback put up almost 40 points.
Yeah.
That is just of everything that I thought would happen in this game, that's about one of the last things that I expected.
Yeah, no, I did not expect Jaden Daniels to have 2 incompletions. Then they put up almost 40.
I mean, that's absurd. I mean, going into this weekend's game against the Panthers, I have no expectations. And I fully believe we could lose.
Yeah, no, I do too.
Going into the Commanders game last week, I was like, all right, we're going to get our first win. We'll start to get our feet under us, and then we'll start rolling here. I have no expectations now. I am just mind-boggled by this predicament that they have put themselves in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think, 2% of NFL teams that have gone 0-3 have made the playoffs?
Yeah. It's like we have I don't even know if playoffs are possible anymore at this point. I mean, we're 3 games behind in the division. Well, from the leader. We're 3 games behind in the division. Outside of the division, you're looking at the Jets, the Bills, the Chiefs, the freaking Chargers. You're looking at the Texans in the South. I don't even know if the playoffs are feasible. And those are just the teams outside of the division. We got 3 other teams in the division we're competing with that could go to the playoffs.
Yeah. I think the worst thing is, this stretch of, these first, 6 weeks, there's only 2 of the games that should have been, a competition, which is the Chiefs and the Ravens game. They should have smoked the Patriots, smoked the Commanders. The Panthers should be an easy win, and then the Giants. But now, none of that. Obviously, they're 0-3, and like you said, don't feel comfortable in any game that they have.
No, we could be 0-5. We could be 0-5. Is the bye week 6 or 7?
I don't know.
Well, whatever it is, the first slate, that first slate, Patriots, Chiefs, Commanders, Panthers, Ravens, and Giants. That first stretch of 6 games, we could be 0-6.
Yeah,
we could not win one of
week
games.
12.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a while away. But that first stretch, that first 6-game stretch, we could walk away winless.
Which is insane.
We lost to the Patriots and the Commanders. We very well could lose to the Panthers and probably will lose to the Ravens. We could walk away 0-6. I have no expectations for this team anymore. And it's not on Burrow either. Burrow played a really good game, I thought, on Monday. I thought Burrow played really well. And he's been vocal about how he's going to be changing up his leadership style and whatnot because
he's
but
seventh in yards, tied for fifth in touchdowns. He hasn't thrown an interception yet, and he's eighth in QBR.
yeah, like Joe Burrow's been playing pretty good football so far this year. It's just like, I mean, it's a one man show. I mean, you can't. It's a team sport. You can't win. Like I don't care how good you are. I mean, even Patrick Mahomes needs guys around him. Like it doesn't matter how good of a player you are in football. You got to have someone around you. Like you can't single handedly will your team. You got to have someone on offense or defense that can play football. I mean, like Burrow's been playing good football. Jamar Chase just got unlocked this past weekend. Also, I don't believe due to his fault. T. Higgins just played his first game. Like, yeah, I mean, this team. I have no expectations for this team at all anymore. We could be in the Travis Hunter discussion. We could be in the playoffs. I have no clue what's gonna. This team is just. I got nothing. I mean, right now we're terrible. That's all I know. I got nothing.
Yeah. I mean, it does suck because, like the biggest MO with the Bengals, like the biggest problem was the offensive line. And like the offensive line, I think this year has been like top 10, I think. And like at least
serviceable.
At least like passing wise.
Yeah. Well, Joe Burrow only got sacked like once or twice last night or Monday?
Yeah. So it hasn't been bad.
Well, and even against the Chiefs, I mean, the offensive line really hasn't been playing that badly this year. The offensive line really hasn't been much of a concern for me. Like the last couple of years, it's like every time we went into a game, I'm like, oh gosh, like this offensive line, but that's not like, I'm really not concerned with the offensive line going into games this year. It's the defense is what's like, dude, I don't know if we're going to be able to stop these guys. Like,
Yeah, no, the defense is definitely a big problem. I don't know if that's just the players are playing bad or if that's Lou Anarumo or what's going on, but something needs to change, and I hope it needs to happen fast.
Well, you wouldn't think it's Lou Anarumo because a couple of years ago he was a mastermind.
Yeah, but since then, I mean, the defense has gotten worse.
Yeah, I mean, well,
but they've also lost like key players.
Yeah, I was gonna say it goes back to the problem of letting guys like Jesse Bates walk and letting guys like DJ Reader and some of these guys that we had that were like cornerstones of our defense during that Super Bowl AFC Championship run. We let a lot of those guys walk. I mean, shoot, even like Eli Apple and Chidobe Awuzie, like those people hated on Eli Apple a lot, but Eli Apple really was a serviceable corner.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't awesome, but I felt fairly comfortable with him at corner. Awuzie was really good. He had some injuries and stuff, but it's just like a lot of these guys are. I mean, obviously we've seen what Jesse Bates has done. He left and he's a top 3 safety in the NFL now.
Yeah.
DJ Reader DJ Reader has had some injuries, so he hasn't really made much of an impact for the Lions yet. But like, we let cornerstones of our defense walk. And I don't know. I mean, the Bengals are historically a pretty cheap franchise. I don't know if that's part of it. I mean, I understand that you got to pay Burrow and you got to pay Chase. But, I mean, I just, I think that letting Jesse Bates walk hurt, I mean, our defensive back room – our defensive back room has not been really great.
We went from Jesse Bates to Nick Scott.
Yeah. Nick Scott's not even on the team anymore, I don't think.
Yeah, because he was terrible.
Yeah, I mean, so we've got Geno Stone's good.
Yeah, he made.
Who's the other one? I don't even know. Is it Jordan Battle? Jordan Battle?
Jordan Battle hasn't played.
Oh, it's not Jordan Battle?
No, Von Bell's been in the start.
Oh, Von Bell, that's right. He came back, yeah. Which I think that's good.
Jordan Battle's played like 6 snaps or something.
Yeah.
Like he just hasn't played at all. And he was good last year.
He was good last year. I don't understand sometimes. And if we're going to talk about playing time, why the heck does Chase Brown not play more? Every time he touches the ball, it's 7-8 yards. Like that's on the offensive side.
He needs to get more carries because I mean his yards per. Let me look up what his yards per carry is.
He has like
7.4.
Yeah, and he has like probably a 20% snap share or something
Yeah,
like that. Like he doesn't play, and I don't understand.
yeah. He did get more carries this game, but I mean, he had three, four, and 7.
Yeah, like what? I don't
I mean,
understand. Like why? Like
Zach Moss has been good too, but they need to kind of even that out a little bit more.
yeah, I mean, I'm not saying this because Zach Moss has been bad. I'm just saying this because Chase Brown is so good. Every
Yeah,
time he touches the ball, it's 7+ yards.
yeah,
Like every single time. I don't get that on the offensive side. But yeah, on the defensive side, dude, I have no clue. I mean, Geno
yeah.
Stone's good. Von Bell is a veteran who played with us before with Jesse Bates.
Yeah.
I
Like if
mean,
you look at our defense, I mean, you still, like you said, you have Geno Stone, Von Bell, you have Cam Taylor Britt, who's been good, and then
yeah,
you still have Pratt and Logan Wilson. You have Trey Hendrickson and Hubbard.
yeah,
But I mean, other than Trey Hendrickson and like Cam Taylor Britt, or like really, I mean Logan Wilson, those two have been the only people that have been like really really good for us. I mean, we didn't
yeah,
get any. Jaden had all day to throw against the
yeah.
on
We got
Monday.
no
Like
pressure.
they
Trey
didn't
Henderson
get
had one
any of
sack
it.
in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and I don't even know. I haven't seen Sam Hubbard do anything,
No, he's been quiet so far this year. I
but
mean, but if you look at this defense on paper,
it's not
the
bad.
only
It shouldn't be
things
that bad.
the only things that are weaker compared to past years are the defensive tackles and like
Some of the
one corner,
DBs,
like
yeah,
one corner. You
yeah,
know, like I mean, because Mike Hilton's still here too, so
hmm
I'm really not sure what the issue is. I mean, obviously, defensive tackles are banged up because of injuries, so that affects the run defense, obviously. But like, you still got Hubbard and Hendrickson. You should be fine there. Our linebacker core should be perfectly fine. We didn't
yeah.
lose any of them.
No,
And the defensive back room is pretty much all new faces except for Britt and Hilton. But those new faces, except for maybe one corner, are good players.
yeah,
Like I have no clue what's going on right now, but it's really bad.
yeah. I don't know. It's frustrating, but
Yeah,
I don't know what the fix is. You know.
no, I don't even know what the problem is. Like I couldn't tell you like in past years, it's like okay, like our offensive line is putrid, or like our run defense is not good. I mean, obviously our run defense isn't great, but like I don't know what the issue really is here. Like I just have no clue. I don't know if it's the personnel or I don't know if it's just like I'm slow to say it's Lou Anarumo because he was literally a genius a couple years ago. So I
Yeah,
don't know if it's him, but I don't really know if it's necessarily the personnel because like we just said, you look at the team on paper, it's relatively a solid looking defense.
yeah.
So I don't know what the problem is, but they're
Yeah.
terrible.
Like if you would have told me going into Monday, hey, you're gonna score on every possession on offense, put up 33 points, but you're gonna lose the game, I would have been like, you're crazy.
Yeah, like are you kidding me? Like if you score every time you have the ball and only two or three of those being field goals, like you should comfortably win.
Yeah. What
Like
frustrated me was after the game, like the media was like, "Oh, this game was on Joe Burrow." I was like, "Did you watch the game?
yeah,
Like,
I don't
Joe
know.
Burrow was not the problem." Like,
No,
yes, the
definitely
Bengals are 0-3, but that does not all fall on Joe Burrow. Like we just said earlier, he's been
no.
playing pretty well. It's just
It yeah, it
his
definitely does
defense has
not.
been playing pretty bad. And they had that one offensive sputter against the Patriots, and the last 2 weeks the offenses looked pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I don't. They always try to pin it on Burrow, and they always like question him, and it's like he's not the only player on the team. Like he can't play defense, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. It's like
Like he played like let me pull up his stats. He had I know he had three. Yeah, he had 324 yards and 3 touchdowns on 29 for 38.
that's
That's
a good stat line.
Yeah, that's a good game, and the media was like, "Oh, that was on Joe Burrow." And I was like,
Yeah, like
you just did not watch the game."
yeah, I don't understand the whole like narrative of it being on Burrow
Yeah,
because
like week one,
he's been
yes,
playing good football.
yeah, week
Like
one you can say that because the offense looked terrible. You can put that game on Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
But week 2 and week 3, he's looked as good as he's been the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, he's looked like Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
I don't really, and it's like we just said a couple minutes ago. Like it's a team game. Like even Patrick Mahomes, you look at him last year, he had like no, or last year, 2 years ago, I don't know, whatever year it was, he had like no receivers in the slightest, but he had a really freaking good defense. So it's like it's a team game. It's not all Joe Burrow is not single handedly losing us games.
Yeah,
It's
he's
like,
not the person I'm worried
and
about.
he's not even a person that should be on the fault list at all. I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, this loss is a defensive problem. I mean, it was not, the defense was just not even on the field. They just didn't show up to play at all. And I'm interested to see, because Joe Burrow and Zach Taylor had a private conversation after the game. I'm
Hmm.
interested to figure out what happened there, because I mean, obviously, something is very wrong on this team.
Yeah.
There is some internal issue on this team that is very, very wrong. So I'm interested to see how that discussion between the two of them went.
Yeah. Well, do you think they're going to get back on track this Sunday against the Panthers?
I mean,
We'll be at that game, by the way.
yeah, we will be at that game.
So hopefully we win.
It it's really, really hard for me to say that they won't.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
because we're
Golden
talking
Revenge
about,
game.
yeah, uh,
Again.
we're talking about one of the worst teams in the NFL. Like, aside from records, this is one of the worst teams.
They should be almost a shoe-in for the first overall pick.
Yeah, I mean, this Panthers squad is terrible.
Yeah.
So it's really, really hard for me to say that they won't win, but I fully believe that there is a very possible world that they don't win.
Yeah.
But
if they don't win, I think season's done. Throw in the towel. We'll see next season.
100%.
If we're not already at that point.
Yeah, I think you're pretty dang close to that point right now. But if they lose Sunday, then that point has 100%.
If you go and you have a game where your losses are to the Patriots, the Chiefs, the Commanders, and the Panthers, one of those teams is respectable. The last 3 teams had picks 1, 2, and 3 last year.
Yeah. And we might be up there.
This was supposed to be like we sucked last year, so we're supposed to have an easy schedule this year, and we're 0-3.
We're dropping all of them. Dude, I don't know. I mean,
realistically, we should, going into that Bengals Browns game, we should have been at least 5-2.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we could lose to the Ravens, and if you had told me that we lose to the Chiefs week 2, I wouldn't have been like, that's not.
No, yeah. I mean, if we drop to the Ravens and the Chiefs in the first part of the season, I'm not surprised about that. But the rest of these games, I mean, there's just no reason at all to lose those games.
Yeah.
So
they're not great football teams. I mean, the Commanders they're playing pretty well. They've scored on every possession in the last 2 games, but no one's being like, oh, these guys are like a lock for a playoff team.
Yeah, no,
they might be a little bit better than we thought, but they're not going to be great. And the Patriots, I mean, I think after the So I mean, they scored 3 points last week.
Yeah. This Patriots team is bad.
And they're 1-2. So
bad team.
They lost.
It's a bad team, and the Commanders are. I mean, the Commanders might be a little bit better than 6-11, which is where I had them. They might win 7 or 8 games, maybe.
But there's still not a team that at the Bengals talent level should be losing to, especially at home on Monday night.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I totally agree. But I mean, for the sake of my pick for this week, I'm gonna pick the Bengals to win this one. I think that they're gonna win. I guess that means they get back on track. I don't really know if this is a back on track game, but I mean, I do think they'll win. there's. I want to say that there's just no way we drop this game, but there is. We
We've said
very
that
well could lose this
we've
game.
said that twice already, and we've dropped both of those games.
Yeah. So I mean, I think we'll win because I don't think that we truly are this bad. Um, but I think that there's a very real possibility we lose.
Yeah, man, I agree. I think it should be it's a winnable game by far.
Yeah.
And I mean, the Panthers played better last week, but it was
Yeah.
against who was it? The Raiders. The Raiders suck too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Andy Dalton is 4-1 against us, I think. So I mean, that's the storyline, which is it's crazy. But I don't think like Joe's not gonna let him go 0-4. You know,
I don't think
he
so.
can't
But
let him go.
that's like my thought. Like I feel like there's like I keep saying I want to keep saying there's no way that like Burrow and Chase and these guys are going to drop to 0-4.
Yeah.
Like especially three of those teams being terrible teams that they are. I
If
mean,
we drop to 0-4, I think you have to have a conversation about Zach Taylor, his job security. Because he's 0-4 and losing to three teams that are going to be at least top 10 picks, like, yeah, it's just,
I mean, I don't know.
it's a tough call, but I mean, it's kind of been the same MO for the last 3 or 4 seasons. Like, we always start off slow and then get our way back. And this year we're starting off really slow.
Yeah, I mean, I just
But
don't.
I'm not saying that we need to fire him, but
No.
if we start off 0-4 and we lose to the Commanders, the Patriots, and the Panthers, I wouldn't be shocked if there's discussions. At least
Yeah,
by fans on Twitter.
yeah, I think there already is discussions by fans on Twitter, but
Yeah.
I don't really think we should. I mean, because when he got to the Bengals, obviously we were terrible. Like we were the scum of the NFL, and him with the help of Burrow took us to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And the AFC Championship the next year, and Zach Taylor came, and this entire roster was overhauled. So the team that we saw those 2 years, and even still into now, was built during the Zach Taylor era.
Yeah.
So and I also think he's a really good guy. I think he's a
I
good
love
dude.
Zach Taylor.
Yeah, I think he's a really good guy, and I think he's a good I mean, I think I envision him as a pretty good program institutor.
Yeah.
I mean, because like I said, when he got to the Bengals, we were the dump of the league, and now we're a premier team in the league, but we're a premier team that consistently underperforms.
Yeah. I saw some
And,
people on Twitter were saying they want Belichick.
Yeah. I don't know about that, but I
Hey,
mean,
Belichick gets another little Belichick Brady duo,
that would be insane.
I'll take 6 Super Bowls.
Oh, I would love to have
That's all
6
I'm
Super
saying. I'll
Bowls.
take
I
6
would
Super
love it.
Bowls.
I would love that.
Now we need to get our defense better because the Patriots always have a really good defense.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I'm not going to question Zach Taylor until it gets really, really bad.
Yeah,
Like
that's fair.
I usually don't question coaches until it gets to the point of Chargers Brandon Staley bad, or Nathaniel Hackett Broncos bad, or
that's fair.
Arthur Smith Falcons bad.
Yeah, that's fair.
When the team is just so disorganized and disgruntled that they're losing by 60 points, then it's all right, yeah, this guy's gonna have to go because clearly it's not working out right now,
Yeah.
But I don't think that we are even close to that point.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean,
people talking.
I mean, if I think the only thing that would get me on that train is if we go into Carolina this weekend and the Panthers put 40, 50 points on us.
Yeah, if we get embarrassed, then
If we get embarrassed in Carolina this weekend, then I might be all right, discussions should probably be had here.
yeah,
But I mean, I'm not ready to drop him, even if we end up going 7-10.
I think we're
8,
projected 8-9 right now.
Yeah, I mean, even if that happens, I'm not ready to drop him because
Because what were we 9-8 last year? We were, right?
we I think we were 9-8. Yeah. We were like one game out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not ready to drop him yet, but there are some there are some issues. Like
Yeah.
something's going
Definitely.
wrong
And
here.
he knows that. He's said that.
Yeah,
But they just got
yeah.
to work
So
to fix them as soon as possible.
I agree with that for sure. I think it'll be interesting to see what this squad does moving forward. But like I said, I am definitely not on this Zach Taylor train. I yeah, I don't think I'm going to be on that train until we just start consistently losing and getting embarrassed.
Me
You
too.
know,
There's just a lot of angry Twitter people,
yeah, people
which
are just really
they usually don't know what they're talking about. They're very
most of the time they don't.
reactionary.
Yeah. Well, and see, here's the other thing you got to think about is that like if you fire Zach Taylor, who the heck are you going to get? Like it's not like is Zach Taylor the best
Mike
coach in the
Vrabel.
NFL? No, he's not the best coach in the NFL, but we could do way worse.
We go to Sean McVay or Shanahan and say, "How much money do you want?" And then we write that check.
I think we hand either one of those two guys blank checks. those though, I would say that those two,
the money that we're putting into our new stadium, we're just going to give to you.
and we'll win a Super Bowl. I would rather have that. Just give him like $1.5 billion to come coach the Bengals. But no, I think
that would be insane.
that those are two coaches that you could probably pretty confidently say are two of the best in the league. Like I'm not.
That's why I named them.
Yeah. I don't know if Zach Taylor's quite at the McVay Shanahan level.
He's from the McVay tree.
He is from the McVay tree, which is why it kind of shocks me how our offense is run. Because the McVays and the Shanahans and their trees are all known for having like extremely efficient and like really good offenses.
Yeah.
So I'm not really, sometimes it kind of just confuses me as to why Zach Taylor and our offense is sometimes the way that it is.
Yeah.
Coming from a Sean McVay tree, you would think our offense should be, especially with the talent that we have. I mean, we should be putting 30 points up a game.
Yeah.
If you give Sean McVay the offense that we have, I think he has no issue winning a lot of football games.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Offensively, but like I said, I don't think Zach Taylor is really the issue here.
No, it's just the defense as a whole has been not playing up to par.
Yeah. Like I said, there's definitely some sort of internal issue, but I'm not really sure what that is internally. But defensively, it's not looking good.
Yeah.
So my pick for the week, I think they win. I think that they get the first win on the board and take a baby step in the right direction. But like I said, I would not be shocked at all if we're sitting here next week saying, "Well, we lost."
I certainly hope that's not the case. Yeah. So that'll wrap it up for us. Hopefully next week we come in and we get a win. That would be good. So because we're gonna be at the game, so we'll be watching it firsthand. So hopefully it goes well and we finally get on the win column. This show might be bad luck because ever since we've started it, we have not won a game.
We haven't won a game.
It might be bad luck, but hopefully not. All right, well, thank you all for watching. We'll see you guys next week, and hopefully it's a win.
Yeah.